What if I told you that one of the best niches on YouTube is also one of the least competitive? I'm not kidding. The niche I'm talking about is the explainer niche, and some of the numbers you see on these channels can be jaw-dropping. Their videos typically feature stick figure style characters in hand-drawn environments to explain topics ranging from science to history, and most of them end up raking in hundreds of thousands and even millions of views. But although this is a huge opportunity, it's also a worse nightmare for anyone whose drawing skills peaked at kindergarten like mine did. To add insult to injury, some of these channels end up animating their characters, which means you need to cough up a fortune to match up to the same quality. However, channels like Chill Dude Explains are killing it in this niche without any animations. In fact, in just a little over a year since the channel was started, they've racked up more than 360,000 subscribers, with some of their most popular videos racking up millions of views. Even their worst performing video has 39,000 views, and their recently launched videos have all crossed 100,000. To top this off, they recently started another channel called Chill Dude Dark Mode, and within 3 weeks, the channel is almost at 40,000 subscribers with just 11 videos. They did all of this using hand-drawn images without a single animation. But here's the good news. I'm going to show you how you can replicate their style of video using AI tools. We'll go over everything from finding viral topics like the ones these channels are tackling to actually creating the same style of engaging scripts. Once that's done, we'll move on to creating the voiceover for the video before generating the images that we need. I'll even show you how to edit those same images, as well as how you can enhance them. Then finally, we'll put everything together using CapCut. Now this part is important, so you need to pay close attention. I'm going to be using a few prompts in this video, so to make things easier, I've organized them inside a Google Doc, which will be available in the prompts channel of my Discord server. Also, I'll be including any resource images that will be used in this video inside the files channel on the same server. Just look for the name Chill Dude Explains, and the links will be right there. Before we get started, there's one announcement I think you're going to like. Oh, and speaking of likes, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. Honestly, this has been the most difficult niche I had to reverse engineer, so a thumbs up will really help me out. Now back to the announcement. I've recently opened 2 mentorship offers for anyone looking to start or seriously level up with YouTube automation. The first one is a group mentorship program, and the second is one-on-one with me. I'm not going to bore you with the details, so you can check it out using the link in the description. Now, before we start with the first part of the video creation process, let's first take a look at a short demo I created using the exact same strategy I'm about to walk you through.
Let's get right into it. Number 10. Lightning never strikes twice. Picture yourself sprinting across an open field during a thunderstorm. Great life choices, by the way. A jagged bolt explodes a tree 30 feet away, and you breathe out, "Phew, safe now." Lightning never hits the same spot twice. Your brain, bless its optimistic little neurons, just conjured a hallmark slogan, not a physics fact. Lightning is pure electricity looking for the shortest, easiest path to the ground, like a lazy student picking the front row seat near the door.
The first step is to come up with good video ideas. Instead of looking for something random, it's a lot easier to check the topics that successful channels in the niche are creating. After all, most explainer videos are evergreen, so it doesn't really matter how old the video may be. You can still create something from your fresh perspective. You can also leverage AI like this. First, go to the Google Doc I mentioned earlier and look for this title prompt. Copy everything under it and open your favorite text generator. This part is up to you, so feel free to choose the one you want. In this case, I'm using ChatGPT. Now go ahead and paste the prompt and make one simple change, which is to replace this placeholder with the number of topics that you want the AI to generate. Let's go with 20. No need to change anything else. Simply hit enter and wait for your topics to be generated. Take a look at these examples. Some of these topics are quite interesting, so feel free to choose, or if you don't like any of the topics, regenerate as many times as it takes to get what you want. Now that you have your topic, the next step is to generate the script. So go back to the Google Doc again and look for this script prompt. Copy everything and paste it inside your text generator. Before we make any changes, you need to understand how this prompt works. You see, it's structured to create scripts ranging from 1,400 to 3,000. This is the typical word count for the channel we're modeling, so feel free to make changes if you want to increase or decrease the duration. Also, since most AI text generators may not be able to create the full script at once, the entire prompt is created to break the script down into sections. Now you need to add your chosen topic, so scroll down to the bottom and you'll see this placeholder. Make sure you've copied your topic, remove the placeholder, and replace it with it. All that's left is to hit enter and wait for the AI to generate your script. It's created the first section of the script, and if you take a closer look, it starts with this statement before going straight to the countdown. Keep in mind that you can adjust the word count for each one inside the prompt. but it works just fine this way. The countdown for this particular script starts from 10, so scroll down to the bottom and you'll see this instruction prompting you to type continue for the AI to generate the next section of the script. So type continue and wait for the second part to be ready. In case you scroll down to the bottom again and you still see the same instruction, type continue again till the last countdown, which should prompt you that you've reached the end of the script. One important thing you need to keep in mind is that AI does a good job with this style of narration, but it's still advisable to go through and make sure everything sounds the way you want it. Once you're done with the script, it's time to generate the voiceover. This part depends on your preference, but I personally use 11 Labs for my voiceover. It's not completely free, so if you want something without a price tag, Clipchamp is a great option. I always recommend it because their voices are considerably better compared to a bunch of the other free options on the market. Now back to 11 Labs, you need to select a voice, so go to Voices and play a few till you find one that you like. You can even use the filters to make the job easier, but that's very straightforward, so we won't be going through it. In this case, I've already added a voice, so let's go back to the text to speech page. 11 Labs has added a new version 3 model, which produces some really impressive results, but we're sticking with the older version for now. Paste the prompt and go ahead with the generation. If the narration doesn't sound good enough, make changes to the settings till you get what you want. Now that the narration is ready, the next step is to generate the images. So copy this image prompt from the Google Doc and paste it inside your text generator. Before you make any changes, there's something you need to understand. The channel we're modeling creates simple scenes that look like they were drawn in Microsoft Paint, and human characters are mostly stick figures, usually with some kind of hairstyles. It's possible to use AI to generate both the character and scene at the same time, but the results are very random. Based on my experience, it's far more time-consuming using that approach, as you'd end up spending hours just on one single image. You can get characters looking like this, but it's quite different from the stick figure style characters that Chill Dude Explains uses. So, as a workaround, we're going to generate the background and characters separately, then put them together inside the scene. It's a lot easier than it sounds. Let me show you. Scroll down to the bottom till you find these two placeholders. The first one is to specify the number of image prompts for any section of the script, and the second one is for the section itself. So choose the number you want. I'll go with 20 and then go to the script. You can copy the full section or any part like one of the countdown sections. Remove the placeholder and paste the script. Then hit enter and wait for the AI to generate the image prompts. You need to take note of this. The prompts are structured in 3 sections. The first part is the art style, second is the scene description, and third is the character action. As I said earlier, the scene and the character will be generated separately, so copy the art style as well as the scene description, leaving only the character action, and then head over to Leonardo AI. Feel free to use ImageFX for the scene, but I'll show you why I'm using Leonardo AI. Hit Image to be taken to the image generation page. Go to Presets and choose this Flux model. Close the pop-up and select Dynamic for style. You can test out the other models and styles, but based on my test, this one works just fine. Don't forget to choose 16:9 aspect ratio for long form and then paste the prompt. Hit generate and wait for the images to be created. Let's check them out. These look simple enough for what we want, but you can regenerate if you want something different. The second part of the generation is that of the character. You can use Leonardo AI for the stick characters, but I personally like the results from ImageFX a lot better. First, let's try generating it here. Change the aspect ratio to 9:16 for portrait-style images and paste the character prompt. Hit generate and wait for the result. As you can see, the results aren't too good. I'm sure a different model or style would produce better results for the character, but let's try it with ImageFX. Paste the prompt and choose the aspect ratio. Hit create and wait for the result. As you can see, the results from here are considerably better than the one from Leonardo AI. You can even use this one for the scenes as well, but the images are a bit more detailed, which isn't what we want. So I recommend using Leonardo AI for the background and ImageFX for the character. If you have access to another tool like Ideogram, you can also get some good results from there. Now let's see some of the other results from Leonardo AI. These images aren't bad, so let's add the characters to the scene. I'll be using Photopea to edit the images, but feel free to use Photoshop or any other image editor that you want. The first thing you need to do is to drag and drop the background inside Photopea. Then drag in the corresponding stick figure character as well. In case it's not showing, move the character layer above the background layer. Now right-click the character layer and select Rasterize. Then choose the magic wand tool and click on the background to select it. Finally, hit Delete key on your keyboard and the background will be removed. Now you can choose the Move tool and use it to resize and position the character. This way works, but in case you want to use your own character, here is how you can create one. First, hit this button to create a new layer and choose this Pen tool. Change this to shape and turn off the fill by hitting this button. Select black for the stroke, make sure you choose the size and click to draw the head. To curve the lines, click and drag like this. Once you're done, hit this button again to create another layer and click to draw the rest of the stick figure. To fill in a white color for the head, make sure that layer is selected, choose the pen tool again and select a white fill color. Create another layer that you'll use for the mouth and eyes. Choose the pen tool, click the point you want the mouth to start, move to where you want it to end, then click and drag till you get the shape that you want. This may seem like a long process, but the best part about this niche is that you can reuse these characters for future videos. For the eye, you can choose the brush tool and select the brush size. Now all you have to do is to click to draw them. Use the pen tool for the brows as well. The hair is quite simple. You can use the paintbrush or the pen tool to draw something like this and give it your preferred color. Obviously, the AI image is simpler, so you can modify the prompt and generate any other images and even modify the facial features if the AI doesn't get it right. For a scene like this, you can bring in the character, flip it if necessary, resize, and even modify the hair color if you want to. For this particular image, a professor should be seen behind the table, so bring in the image of the professor and rasterize it. Remove the background and position the character where you want it to show. It looks like the character is in front of the table, so grab the eraser tool and use it to clean these up. As you can see, the character looks alright now, so export it as a JPEG file. The channel we're modeling also uses one other character for their narration. You can use AI to generate your own, but I've already created one for you in the resource folder I mentioned at the beginning. Now it's time to edit the video. But before that, you need to enhance the resolution of the images with a tool like Upscale with a Y. It's completely free to use, so install and open it. Make sure your images are all inside one folder and check Batch Upscale. Select the folder that contains your files and choose your preferred model as well as the scale you want to enhance. For these images, 3 or 4x should work perfectly. Hit Upscale and wait for the process to be completed. The duration typically depends on the speed of your computer, but once it's done, open CapCut and import your images as well as the Voiceover files. The first thing you need to do is to drag and drop the Voiceover file inside the timeline. Quickly go through the narration and remove any long pauses. Don't forget to keep playing to make sure you're not removing too much. Once that's done, it's time to specify the aspect ratio. Hit Ratio and choose 16:9 for long form. You need a white background for the video, so download or create one and add it to the timeline. Another option is to go to Library, Background, and grab this white image. Now you need to follow this process exactly, as every single video from the channel we're modeling starts the same way. First, bring in the image of the character at the beginning and scale it down slightly. The clip should end exactly after the first statement, right before the first countdown. So trim the duration of the image and then grab the default text from here. Drop it inside the timeline and change the font color to black. Change the text to the first countdown number according to the narration, and maybe choose your preferred font as well. Trim that one as well, and start arranging your images. Don't forget to scale the images up, leaving out anything unnecessary in the scene. Repeat this process for all the images, making sure they align perfectly with the narration. Once all the images have been arranged, add transitions if you want to. But the channel we're modeling doesn't use it, so you can ignore this part and look for a filter. This depends on the look you're going for, but if you don't find one, simply grab the adjustment and drop it inside the timeline. Extend it to fill the entire duration of the video and play around with these sliders till you have the look you want. The video's almost done, so you can add captions. This also depends on your preference, so feel free to choose one of these templates, pick your font, change the color, or any other settings you want to tweak. This style of video doesn't need any background music or sound effects, so you can skip that and export the video at 4K resolution. Now obviously this niche isn't the easiest out there, but the results are definitely worth it. Anyway, thank you and see you in the next one.